Welcome, guys. Welcome back. My name is Marsha once more, and my co host is Andre. And today we have the lovely Terese Brown, a Jamaican fashion designer located in Bronx, New York. Terese, hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you guys doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy,
Year to you
Happy
too.
New Year to you too. I'm a little tired, but I'm okay. Dre, how are you?
Doing good, doing good, doing good. Giving thanks for sure.
Okay, so Terese, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Thank you.
Sure. So, my name is Terese Brown, and I am the creative director and CEO of Terese Sydonna, which is a contemporary women's apparel collection featuring men's accessories as well as unisex face masks designed for the superhero in all of us. I am a Jamaican designer originally from Lucy, Jamaica, living in the Bronx, New York. So my company, Terese Sydonna, is based here, and I proudly produce my garments in New York's garment district. And I've been in business now 9.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's a nice synopsis. Thank you so much. I want to start off by talking about your upbringing in Jamaica, and then we will venture off from there. So, what was your upbringing like in Lucy? And I am very familiar with Lucy because
Okay.
Hanover, Sandy Bay is my country. So, yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Okay,
Yes.
you own it. All right.
country.
Yes, she's a country girl too. So yeah, growing up in Lucy, I just have such happy memories. I'm from the country, I'm a country girl. And I think growing up there gave me such a strong foundation and just strong family values. And I was always surrounded by some really good people in my family who always pushed me, encouraged me to do big things, even from then. I remember my mom always said I was never a morning person. I was always an evening person, and I was talking by one and giving trouble. And that's what it was like when I was there climbing trees and doing all these things I wasn't supposed to be doing at 3. And I think even to this day, though I've immigrated to the States and I grew up mostly in the Bronx, I still have those roots within me. And it's something that I carry in my heart always, that I never forget where I come from.
Definitely.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
That's beautifully put. I really like that. So did you do any schooling at all in Jamaica?
Yes, I did. So I went to Lucy Basic School,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we went there. And then I went to Lucy Prep. So,
Oh,
and then after Lucy Prep, I immigrated to the States.
oh.
hmm Yeah, so I was just there across the street from Rossi's.
Ah, I know Ortiz as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what was it like for you when you actually migrated to the States? And what age were you actually?
Yeah, so I moved here to the Bronx when I was 7 years old. And before that, I would visit, I would come for like summer vacations here. And both my parents originally immigrated to New York before me. And so
Mm.
my grandmother raised me for the 4 years that I was in her care. I was raised in Grange Hill.
Oh,
So I
Greenville.
went deeper into the country.
Mm-hmm.
And once, my parents were able to bring me here, I immigrated here at 7. And
Mhm.
honestly, when I was on that plane that night, I was by myself, and
Oh.
a stewardess helped me. Like when you're underage, they assign you with somebody
Mhm.
who looks after you until you get there. And so I was just on the plane at night, and I just remember seeing all those big lights and thinking to myself that I was going to be in this big movie. And at the time, it was like Home Alone. That was the It
Mm.
movie, and was playing on the airplane. And I just
Mhm.
remember feeling like Kevin, like, wow, look at that, all those lights. And I swear I was going somewhere with like streets paved with gold. And
Yeah, that's a picture painted for sure.
right? And so when I got off that plane, though, oh my God. First of all, it was so cold.
Mm.
I've never felt cold like that in my life. And my mom was there waiting for me with this really pretty pink coat, this puffy pink coat. And
Mm.
I still remember the coat to this day. And she like just ran and like hugged me up and put the coat on me. And that's like my first memory being here. And
Oh.
I just had a feeling like everything was going to be okay. Next day now when I wake up, I'm like, what is this place?
Oh man.
Right? It was nothing like back home. I didn't have the big yard. I couldn't run around like that. I was in this little apartment. So it was a complete culture shock. Right. And then I had this really thick Jamaican accent. So all the kids at
They
school
call
were
you
like,
Irish?
she talks funny. What's wrong with her? And you know, it was tough at first.
Yeah.
Really, really tough. It's like really tall, skinny girl with this accent, and they're like, "You're a giraffe. You talk funny." And so it was okay. I can make friends. So the one thing that I did right away was I made friends on my block, and everyone was roller skating that summer. And I was like, oh my God, I need those. I need to learn. And that's really how I made friends, skating. And those people like became my friends even to this day.
Nice.
That was my first initiation into this country. And over time I found my tribe. I found my tribe of immigrant people, other Jamaicans, other immigrants from other countries, different races, and things like that, who kind of guided me and became mentors to me and really taught me more about like where I came from and where I needed to go on this journey.
Nice.
So you did, I'm guessing you did some amount of elementary school and high school. Did you go to college for fashion designing?
No, so I actually went to high school for fashion design. I went to the High School of Fashion Industries in Manhattan. And in New York, they have these high schools that are called vocational schools, where you can actually learn a trade. So in addition to your basic like math, English, and world studies, you can then major in something that would basically give you a trade degree or certificate. So I went to the High School of Fashion Industries, where they taught art, fashion design, and merchandising. And I'm from one of those families, immigrant families, where I am the oldest. So you already know the amount of pressure that goes into being the oldest, right? Being a woman, being a girl, and then being the first. So in my family, I was the first of many things. So, it was like you either be a doctor, a lawyer, or an accountant. Like there wasn't any room really for art and things like that. And I was always drawing, like as a kid, always drawing, making clothes out of pantyhose that my mom gave me because we couldn't really afford to get all these Barbie clothes and things. So I always had that in the back of my mind, like I have to make everybody proud, and there's like all this pressure that comes with it. But there was always just this creative part of me that could not be denied, no matter how hard I tried to run from it. I couldn't. Like, it's what, it was my purpose. It was my passion. It's what I was good at. And so my mom originally wanted me to go to a high school like a Bronx-Stein, Brooklyn Tech, or Stuyvesant, where, you take an exam, you get in, and they're like the top 3 high schools in New York, where from there, it's almost like a golden ticket that Ivy League schools will then come and find you. But I just knew, I knew it was like, I need to go there. So when I found out about it, I was like, I'm going to go there. I don't care what she says. And so I purposefully just did bad on the exams. And,
rebellious. Yeah, Jamaica get pie.
It's like, no, man, it's really hard. and it is a really hard exam, but I didn't apply myself the way I should have, because I knew in my heart that I once I found out about fashion industries, I'm like, that is where I want to go. So I did the application, and I was invited to do an entrance exam, and I had to prepare a portfolio. So at first I was going to do art, because I was like, they're all like, oh, you're going to be a starving artist. Like, don't do that. Don't do fashion design. Maybe you do art. So I did the portfolio. When I got there, there was a woman who said, many of you are sitting here because maybe your parents want you to. Now is your chance to choose what you want to do. So if you want to switch your major, now is the time. Get up and sit in that section. And I literally just took up that portfolio case and went on over to the fashion design side, took the test, got in, and it was like heaven. It was literally like a fashion show every day. Like we dressed up, we wore things, we made our own clothes, we sketched. For my senior project, we had to design a collection and we put on our own fashion show. Like I had such an amazing experience there. There's no other high school like that. So that was my first foundation into being professionally trained. But I have to give credit to my grandmother because she worked in the factories back home in Jamaica and she taught me how to sew. And she made sure that when I was a little girl that I was able to do it. You know, at 7 years old, you're like trusting this little kid with a needle, thread, scissors, and all these things. And she really, really made sure that I knew how to do it, and my family nurtured that. Okay. So fast forward now, I'm at fashion industries and I'm doing great. But again, I had this thing in the back of my mind, like, oh, you know, I can't make any money doing this, or I'm gonna be really poor. I'm gonna be a starving artist my whole life because I'd never seen anybody like me from where I come from who was really successful at being a designer, nor was there ever a path that was clear in how one could achieve success doing this. So again, my mom is like, oh, you need to study business, maybe accounting. What about that?
Just in case, right?
Yes, just in case. So I was torn. Like I was not as confident. So I went ahead and went to Lafayette College. I won a scholarship and decided that I would study economics and business and I would somehow find my way back to design. I didn't know how, but it was in my heart and I was just like, I'm gonna do this, you know, I'm just gonna figure it out. So went to Lafayette and the very first day I was in econ at like 8 a.m. I'm like, oh God. I just, once again, I took up my portfolio and I ran down that hill to the art building.